to record because I called myself and I was like, I might as well keep going. Hi, everyone. You're stupid. You're stupid. Carla Araujo. What's up, everyone? Carla Araujo with Women in Real Estate, powered by Badass Agents. Today I have a guest, but I'll announce her in just a moment. This is where we talk about real life with real women and the challenges that we face in real estate. So today I had a subject we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about stop telling yourself you just can't do it. Stop telling yourself it's just impossible and you don't know what to do next. I'm excited to talk about this subject because, well, it's going to hit home for me very much, and I think a lot of you will agree, and will have your own stories and so on and so forth. So I remember one year, a couple of years back, many years back, I should say, I purchased a franchise. The reason for my purchase of that franchise was because I was trying to avoid all the pain, all the marketing, all the systems and softwares that I knew that I had to do on my own. Just kind of lacked that confidence. So I looked for help. I was scared. I was scared to go in business on my own. I was scared to sell. So it just kind of became one of those things where I was like, okay, well, let me open up a franchise because a franchise has everything set up. And it was easy to market this franchise in a sense because they already had everything set up. I felt like I was already marketing for another company, not for myself. So I felt like marketing my franchise was super easy because it was like, well, it's already being done for me. It's not like I have to go out there and create all this content because the content's already created for me. But what I started to realize when I sold the franchise through all the heartaches and all the pain, and I went solo and I started to create my own business, well, I didn't realize all the confidence I lacked. And I was extremely scared when I started realizing like, wait a minute, there is a delay here in this growth because now I'm going in all alone. There is no product to sell. There is no system or software that's set up for me. I have to do this all on my own. So I feel like I started from square one. I learned a lot of lessons in the franchise that I had purchased, and I'm very grateful for that. It completely failed, and I'm very grateful for those failures. But now when I went solo, it was a completely different thing because, again, there was no product for me to sell. The product was me. I had to sell my product. I had to sell me. I had to go out there and market. I had to create all these systems and softwares and everything that I had to. The confidence was just not there. And let's be honest, I was completely scared. So I felt like, okay, I'm back to square one. So today I want to introduce my next guest, Allie Clark. Sorry, my apologies for that. Allie Clark. She is one of our agents, and she's been with us for, how many years have you been with us?
A little over a year.
A little over a year.
Yep.
So tell me, what got you into real estate?
So funny, before I was a realtor, I was actually a chef and very passionate in that industry. I suffered a lot of family loss about 3 years ago, and just kind of took me for a whirlwind. And we have some family out in Texas that does some hard money lending business, and they have a title company. And they wanted us to expand and bring it out to us, being me and my mother, wanted us to bring it out to Phoenix. So we said, okay, sure, why not? Let's try it. It was kind of one of those years where you're not really supposed to make a lot of life changes, but we changed everything. So we took that leap and quickly found that I wasn't very interested in that. And we're like, well, I've never sold anything but food before. And now I'm trying to sell hard money loans in an industry that I've never been in. But what happened was when we kind of let go of that idea, I started getting really interested in residential real estate because just the idea of the opportunity to help somebody purchasing a home is just really gratifying.
But how was that transition and going from you having to sell real estate on your own, like completely being that business owner, having to do it all yourself? Did that become difficult?
Well, what I did was I started on a team.
Okay.
So I did what I think a lot of agents do in the beginning is that they start
just like I
on
brought
a
a
team.
franchise.
Exactly, right?
I brought the franchise because I thought, well, it's an easier way.
Yeah, and so you're not, instead of just representing yourself as like, hey, I never sold anything, I just got my license. You're on this team which has,
they have everything set up for you.
Google my team.
Right.
We've got hundreds of sales.
And that's exactly what it was with the franchise.
Yes.
I was like, I don't have to sell anything. The franchise is all set up for me. So it's like,
Exactly.
okay, and it's a big brand name and everyone knows it. It's like, no one needs to know me.
And the overhead's being taken care
Right.
of. They're paying for the leads. It's a whole new world. So I set off bright-eyed, bushy-tailed to be a buyer's agent on a team, which I'm grateful for that experience for sure, because it helped me to be able to write a solid contract. There's several things that I got out of that experience, but I always felt like there was more for me, because there's something about going out and putting somebody else's name, somebody else's signs out. And just like you said, you lack the confidence. I lacked the confidence to go on my own, but quickly I wasn't making enough money, to be honest.
And it's that confidence thing. You really don't know. At least I didn't realize. I knew deep down inside that I was, but I guess in a sense it didn't hit me hard until I went solo and I started realizing, okay, things have to change because I'm not. I mean, it took many, many years to even build that confidence. It didn't just happen overnight or in a year, or it just with time and the repetitions that I had to put in. It feels like it took forever, but I got there.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, the confidence, you really don't know. You
don't know how much
Right.
confidence you give to everybody else instead of empowering yourself when you're in that situation. So. It is what that was what it was. And what actually ended up happening, because I've known you for a lot of years outside of real estate.
And so I like to point that out, even though I forgot her name.
That's okay.
But I love you to death, so that's okay. I have actually known Allie for how many years now?
For over since you had the UPS store.
So was it 10 years?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years. That's how long I've known her. Over 10 years. And I've watched you growing up, basically. I like to say, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how time flies.
I know, it's crazy. And so when I got into real estate, I knew you, and I went in a different direction. I went on a team, and then what happened was I started to really. You know in your gut when you're not in the right place and you need to make a move, but sometimes you need a push. You need somebody to kind of just lay it out, the realness for you. And it was funny because I had run into you at a Starbucks, of course, at a Starbucks.
Oh, that's funny.
We ran into each other at a
Starbucks. Funny
Starbucks.
joke there.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm addicted to Starbucks. Everyone knows I'm addicted to my nitros. At the time, I didn't have nitros, but
they
I'm
didn't have nitro at that location.
Starbucks.
They had just started with the nitro, I think. But so I ran into you and you said, how's it going? I know you're doing real estate. How's it going over there? And I was just flat honest with you. And it turned into like a 20-minute parking lot conversation where you said, what are you doing? Just leave. Just leave, because at the end of the day, and I had started to feel that at the end of the day, that no matter if I'm on a team, my business, it still comes down to the single agent. My clients are still my clients.
Right.
And in that moment, I was empowered to do what I already knew I needed to do. And you said, just come. No pressure at all. Just come check out A.Z. and Associates and see if you like it. Come meet with the coach at the time. And I did, and I signed up the next day.
And I've known you and when you said no pressure, I've known you for 10 years, and I know that even your mom told me you had your license in a conversation. I never once mentioned, bring her over. I never try to market you. I never try to bring you over, because I probably could have if I wanted to, because we've known each other for so long, right? But I didn't do that, because I don't want I need you to want to be here. I need you to want to be part of this environment and in the brokerage. So my conversation in the parking lot, I specifically remember, just check us out. And if you like us, great. If not, then you can go back. There's no harm in it. And I think that's one of the biggest things, is that a lot of agents kind of hesitate because they're like, well, I'm comfortable where I'm at. You're comfortable because everything is being done for you. And you're afraid to do things on your own, and you're capable of that, So when you and I had a conversation, obviously, it fit in what we're trying to create here, independent.
Right.
You are your business owner. So to you, it was like, wait a minute, I don't come from that mindset. I came from the team has it all set up for me. I'm like, there's so much more to you. And I remember jumping up and down the parking lot and all hyper, because when I see that in someone, I can't help but just to pull it out of you. And it's like, no, we need to conversate a little bit further, not in a Starbucks parking lot.
Right.
Come check us out. You like the energy. Let's get you on board. And I remember you'd being like, wow, I kind of know this person. It's like, But at the end of the day, you have to create what you want. What do you want in real estate? Do you want it? You said, I want to go in. I want to be all in. But you had to start from square one when you came in here, right? Because you had to market Allie.
Right.
You had to go all in. Was that hard for you?
It was so hard because I remember at the time it scared the crap out of me because I didn't have any initial expense going into real estate besides, when you think about the return on investment, getting your real estate license, like it's endless possibilities, right? But I still didn't have any capital to really put towards the business. So, and I had maybe 2 sales prior to joining A.Z. and Associates, but I said, you know what, I'm going to go all in. As soon as I did, and as soon as I started, I ordered signs, I ordered everything, even though I didn't need it. And the week that I got my signs, I got 3 listings.
Wow.
And it was almost just like the universe opened up because I was operating by my truth, being where I wanted to be, not living in the shadow. And just kind of and figuring it out because even these team leaders at one point they were doing the work, figuring it out on their own.
Right. And
that even when I make mistakes on my own, I'm happy because if I lose a deal, I'm figuring out what the process is, and I am better prepared for the next time without having to call somebody and have my hand held through it. We make it through stronger.
Yeah, again, we have to go through the pain and we have to go through those challenges on our own. And some might not be great. They might fail completely and we fall flat on our faces. But it just feels so good to pick yourself back up and be like, hold on a second. I did this all on my own. Let me get, wipe my face off and get back up and keep running. Totally love that. Allie, you were, and I think you mentioned this, but you were a chef. For how many years were you a chef?
Yes, for about 9 years.
So the chef part of it, are you still in that? Are you still doing that?
No, not so much professionally. I do occasionally get requests for me to do like little catering gigs and stuff, and I'll take them on occasionally. But I really am full time in real estate now, and I just kind of focus my love for
100%
culinary.
on real estate.
I focus my business on real estate, and what's great is now it's allowed me to have a lot more culinary focus at home with my family because I'm not burnt out about cooking. I love to cook.
That was my next. That was my next question to you because I know you do a lot of that. So you're and now you have more time that you went into real estate, and now you're literally an entrepreneur, a business owner. You now have more family time.
Yes.
So that is awesome.
Yeah.
So the real estate part of it. How do you? What do you now? How did you take all those lessons that you've learned in the past and being a chef and so on and so forth into real estate? What are you doing different now is I guess where I'm going.
So I think that I really think, and I recently had an article where I wrote about, I tied this back in to how being a chef and being in that very male dominated world had better prepared me for sales in ways that I didn't know. Cause I never thought, I want to be a salesperson. Right. But it hardened me in a way that I have a thick skin, and I think that's definitely what it takes to be in this business is hearing no, 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 no. And then you get that one yes, and then you ride that yes as long as it lasts. And you really have to have a thick skin. And the same thing goes for being a female in a professional kitchen. It takes a tough chick to survive in that world. So I think that really gave me an edge here in real estate now.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Has there been a time where you're just kind of like, real estate's not for me? Did you ever feel just,
yes,
that you ran into that wall and it's just like, I'm done?
Of course I have, definitely, because it's not a job that it doesn't turn off at the end, it doesn't turn off at 6:00 at night, and the hours are flexible, but sometimes, it's based on what client you're dealing with at the time. And last year I got very sick with valley fever, and those were the moments I think where I had to persevere through personal obstacles and keep my business afloat. Those are the moments I think where I feel that way. What did
you do? What are some of the things that you had to do to continue your business?
I
mean, valley fever, that's pretty huge. I mean, What are you doing? How's that challenging? Obviously, it was challenging,
Yeah.
but what did you do? What are some
Well,
of the
I
things
did
that
the
you
best that I could, honestly. At one point I did take a couple of months off, just you know, very.
I mean, you had to.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
I couldn't continue to push myself with the stress. But what I did was I operated the best I could, marketing from my bed if I had to, you know, and I pulled my outside resources that I had and just stayed as relevant as possible while I was trying to get through that. But those, for the most part, those were the only moments where I ever felt like maybe real estate isn't for me, because truly everybody, you know, people can say this, but I truly am not the most money motivated person. Some people, that's what it's about. For me, I wasn't a chef because I made great money.
You just love what you did.
I loved what I did. And
Right.
I find that same sort of why, that purpose in real estate too, just because you're making a memory for someone. I used to tell people that about when I would cook. I would say, I love it because I'm a part of somebody's anniversary dinner, or I'm a part of this great celebration, or that meal. They're going to remember that for years, you know? And the same thing with real estate. If it's a great transaction, if it's a bad transaction, that person's going to remember you and you made a mark on their life, you know?
Wow. You know, one of the questions I was going to ask you, what can your clients expect from you? But you already said it. You answered it right there.
Yes.
Expect the best.
Yes, definitely. I care about what my clients are looking for more than I care about my paycheck. And that's the God honest truth.
That's how you build your clientele.
Yes.
The trust. So what do you do now for, you know, to release all that stress? I mean, you have a baby. She's like 3 years old.
No, she's
How old is she
5.
now?
She's going to be 6 next year.
I knew you when she was born.
I know.
She was a baby.
I know, because you
were
came-
still pregnant when
I was pregnant, and I was working part-time at my mom's CPA office, and I remember you came in and you were so excited to go shopping at Toys R Us because your girls were older by that time, and you said, I love Babies R Us, Babies R Us.
How time flies. And I'm thinking 3. You're like, no.
No,
and I'm
she's
like,
starting first grade
wow,
next year.
how time flies. You got to bring her in. She looks just like you too.
She's like me, but she's got Eric's coloring. She's blonde, kind of blonde, blue eyes. Yeah.
And it goes to tell you how time flies.
I know.
And how much time is just wasted by you just sitting there and thinking about what you should do next and your next step. Time flies. It goes quick. Going on that, which is a phenomenal question, I'm going to ask you, what would you have done different in the beginning of real estate?
You know, probably...
Because
I don't want to say that I would not have joined a team, because I do think that there were a lot of great things. Just like writing a contract, for example. You go to real estate school and they show you don't really get what it's really like. So I guess I got that. I liked having that experience, especially, but I think I would have left sooner. Or I would have possibly done a little bit more research into what all being a buyer's agent means, and what I'm forfeiting for my business by signing up to do something like that, I guess. But I think I moved pretty quickly when I felt that I was in a bad situation. I didn't let myself stay stagnant for too long. So I don't feel that I would have done much differently, because I do feel that I learned from even my mistakes. Holding on a little bit too long let me know now, hey, I'm going to jump, you know?
Well, I got to tell you, Allie, you did move pretty quickly. I remember you came to one of our meetings, just took one, and you're like, I'm on board. Sign me on today. So I love that. You didn't think twice about it. What would you tell the agents that are out there that are just kind of like, should I not? Because they're so... comfortable where they're at. And in the back of their minds, they're like, I want to take a change. I want to see what that environment's about. What would you do? Because you moved quick, without hesitation. But there are some out there that I've actually signed on some agents that I've been watching you for like 4 years, and I finally made the move, and they're all excited, and they've been with us for quite some time. And it's like, wow, 4 years, man, that took you
4 years.
Before, as I said, time goes by fast.
Right.
And what you are not doing, and your voice is talking to you, make a change, make the move, do this. You're just like, I'm uncomfortable, and I'm comfortable where I'm at. So, but not you. What would you do? What would you tell that individual, that business owner, the agent that is wanting to make a change and just not for the bad, just wants a different environment? What would you say?
I would tell the agent that the single most I truly believe this with everything. The single most important aspect to being a real estate agent is having confidence in yourself. And you cannot possibly generate the kind of confidence in yourself that it takes to thrive as a single agent operating underneath somebody else's name. I can't tell you how it changes things when your name's on the sign, when you're out there and you're doing it in your name. It's a game changer. It's a total game changer. And I think that you need to be able to take what is available and what you can grow from in the scenario that you're in. But if you're feeling complacent at all, then move and do it for you. And that agent will be fine. If you're on a team, those other agents will be fine. But just like you told me in the parking lot, just go, just try, just do it. You don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself everything.
I did say that. You don't owe anybody.
You don't even, you know what?
You don't know anybody. Beep.
Right. But it empowered me in a way, and it's true, and I operate that way too. I operate that way now too. It's like, why am I asking somebody, back to the topic of why do you think you don't know what you know? I stopped asking other people's advice and going with what I do know. Yeah. And the confidence is the biggest thing when you're a realtor. Yeah. And people, when you're a new agent, you think that the client should be guiding you through the transaction when it's the opposite. Right. You should be having the confidence to show them the way.
You are the professional. Through the deal. And they go to you because you are the professional.
Right.
I think a lot of people hide behind the question, the answer, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And they just stay there. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll just wait for the right answer or whatever I want to hear that makes me feel comfortable.
And you say that you don't know, but you have a feeling but you're not confident enough to express your thought on that. Yeah. So
I love that you said I had to take a bunch of no. And that's what it is. We have to take a bunch of failures and no's and rejections to get to that one yes or that one success. You're like, okay, this is all the hard work. This is all me. And then, to move forward. But to get those no, after like the third, fourth no, our agents are just like, you know what, maybe real estate's not for me. And I'm just kind of get comfortable and sit behind, I don't know, a team member, or just kind of be comfortable in a brokerage where nobody knows you. You're just kind of thrown into the thousands. And it's like, okay, well, no one really needs to know me, and I'll close a deal or two here and there.
Right.
So I think the comfortness is just, it's hard. It's hard to get uncomfortable.
Right.
For some, so.
But it's important to be uncomfortable instead of being stuck in quicksand. It's better to try and get through it instead of just being like, I'm afraid. It feels so much better to say, just go one foot forward, and we're doing it.
Well, I appreciate you, Allie. And I love you to death. In 10 years, holy smokes, that's
it's a long time.
So where can your clients, if they want to work with you and know more about you, Allie, you're an interesting woman, by the way, and her gardening is on point. You do a lot of that, right?
We do, yes.
I had my garden. You started giving me some pointers. So yesterday, me and my little one went out to cut some, we have, broccoli and zucchini and stuff. They're so tiny, by the way, and she cooked them all on her own.
Oh,
she was cutting it, cooked her own zucchini.
So awesome.
Gave it us all for dinner. It was really neat to watch her. But it was like completely humongous. It was bigger than me. I couldn't believe this garden. It just grew overnight. It was insane. So anyway, your gardening tips were amazing. So I love that.
Thank you.
So where can your clients find you if they want to work with you, Allie, or know more about you?
So my clients the best way to reach me is by phone. My phone number is 480-244-1988. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram page is Agent Allie. And
I love that one.
On a mission. And then my Facebook page is also facebook.com/Agent Allie. I also have a website where if you'd like to go on and do a little home search, it's agentallieaz.com. But again, my phone is probably the best way to reach me, 480-244-1988.
And again, you are 100% committed, passionate about real estate, and being a chef is just a bonus.
Definitely.
So if you want to contact Allie and get more information on some cooking skills,
definitely. I got the recipes. I got the listings.
She's all in. Completely love it. Thank you for joining me today
Thank
and
you for
sharing
having
so
me.
much of you. And it's been such a blessing knowing you for so many years. So it's been nice.
Thank you. I feel
So.
exactly the same. I feel like I am at home here, and I recommend other agents all the time to come out and check out what we're doing over here, because it's life changing. It's not just business changing.
Yes.
you
Well,
know?
thank you, Allie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. If you are interested in A.Z. and Associates Real Estate Group, go to badassagents.com and apply, and we'll reach out. Everyone have a great afternoon and talk to you soon.